is a socket set. This is the socket which actually grips the nut or bolt, and this is the wrench. Here we've got us a chalk line. You pull it out, get it nice and tight, pull the line, it snaps down and creates a nice mark on our board. You got to have it tight, wrap it around a couple fingers, and you only have to pull it up just a little ways and let go. Here's a steel tape, 25 feet. It's good in getting measurements and all sorts of different orientations, up, down, out. The wooden folding rule is ideal for using in the vertical direction, getting measurements vertically. This is a utility knife. The safest kind of knives have a retractable blade. This is a scrap piece of wood. You should use a scrap piece of wood when you're cutting something and you don't want to cut the surface around you. Use a scrap piece of wood. This is a round file. This is half round, and it's very coarse. Here's a flat file, more fine, probably for metal. And here's a combination where it has several different kinds on one. After you use a file, you should use a file card to get rid of all the metal shavings inside the file teeth. The book calls this a bar clamp. It calls this a locking C-clamp. This is a C-clamp. This is a hand screw clamp. This is also a bar clamp. And when the frame is bent, get rid of it. Whenever using prying tools, make sure you have a balanced footing so that you don't get thrown off balance. Whenever using a pickaxe, always make sure that the head is secured to the handle. We've got a heavy-duty tool called a sledgehammer. This guy is used for driving in stakes into the ground. We've got a chisel. It has a beveled edge, and that's used to cut and shape wood. And if the head becomes mushroomed, you should get rid of it and get you a new one. You need to cut curves quickly in plywood, wood, wallboard. Use a compass saw. It has a handle and a long pointy blade. Here's some other saws that we have here in the shop. We've got a coping saw. It's going to be used for trim work. And we've got a hacksaw. It has fine teeth, and this is going to be used for cutting metal. Another type of saw that we have is a hand cross-cut saw. When you're using it, you need to be careful so that when you're on your last stroke of the cut, that you're properly braced and balanced so that when you finish the cut, you don't lose balance. These are some different pliers we're going to be using. Needle nose, slip joint, a slip, locking. These are locking pliers. And in these pliers right here are called tongue and groove. They are used to grip flat, round, or hexagonal bolts. Screwdrivers, slotted, and Phillips. And you should never use these around live wires. Using a torque wrench to tighten the bolt, you should use one hand holding the head of the wrench to make sure it is properly aligned. Before pulling a nail, make sure the material that the nail is being pulled out of is braced securely. Got a couple different kinds of shovels we're going to use. This comes to kind of a point. That is a spade shovel. We're going to use this to dig holes. Whereas this is a flat shovel, and we're going to use this to scoop up dirt off of a flat surface.